Hi guys, welcome back to Rev-Match 1970. Today I'm going to try and teach you how to drive a manual transmission car in my 2017 Ford Mustang GT. Alright, let's get cracking. Hey guys, before I get started with this video, if you already know how to drive a manual car, stick shift, whatever you want to call it, by all means check out some of my other videos on Rev-Match 1970. There might be something there of interest for you. If you're not quite sure how to drive a manual car but you've always wanted to, it's really not that scary, and hopefully through some cameras set up in my car here, I'll be able to show you how to drive a manual car and yeah, give you the confidence to go for your manual driver's license at the same time. So hopefully it works out for us. I'll set some video cameras up inside here now, just on the feet and stuff like that, and see how I can jig this around to make it all work, and yeah, hopefully I can get some half decent content for you. Alright, well I'll set that up now, and bear with me, I'll be back in a few minutes. Good on you. Alright, so manual cars, they're not as scary as what everyone makes out to think or believe. They're not that hard to drive, in all honesty, and it all just comes down to practice. So manual car, you've got your gear stick, your handbrake is normal. Gear sticks in manual compared to auto, big difference. Autos, they basically do everything themselves once you put it into the designated zone of what you want to do, e.g. park, reverse, drive, neutral, and your speeds. A lot of the latest cars now have paddle shift, which you have paddles on the back of your steering wheel for automatic cars. Naturally enough, manual cars don't have that. So we're going to go through on how we change the gears, and also what pedals you've got underneath here. You've got one extra pedal to deal with, other than compared to an auto car. So we'll open up the door here just so we get a little bit of light maybe. And you'll see down here we've got three pedals. The right side one is your throttle, naturally enough. The middle one is your brake, and your left side is the good old clutch. This is the one that everyone's a little bit frightened about when they first learn how to drive a car. In all honesty, it's nothing to be scared of. It just takes practice at the end of the day. Alright, so that's the pedals, and then we're going to go through the gears. So on the 2017 Ford Mustang GT that I'm in at the moment, has 6 forward gears and 1 reverse gear. Now currently it's sitting in first gear, so whenever you want to change gears in cars, it's always good to press the clutch in. Naturally enough, the engine isn't running, so if you can see down there, there's my clutch pedal there. I usually put my foot on the brake even though the handbrake is on, but it's just like a safety thing. You push your foot in on the clutch like so, hold it down there, and we disengage it out of first gear. We let the clutch out, we'll leave the foot on the brake because the car will roll if you're on a hill. If you don't have the handbrake on properly and you don't have your foot on the brake, the gearbox is in neutral, just like N on the auto gearbox. So that's in neutral, and you can see that by it flapping left and right, left and right. That's my wife's garter belt, by the way, so that's why I have that there. So that was that. Now to engage first gear, naturally enough, let's go down here again. There's the clutch pedal, foot still on the brake, engage the clutch, and we come over to the left and we push the gear in. Now it is in first gear. Second gear, you can see on the gates here. So first gear is at the top here. Oh, sorry, let's start from the get-go. Reverse is up here, and there's a special way to engage reverse in the Mustang. You have first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth, and good old sixth, which is a massive overdrive in the Mustangs. So that's the gate. That's what they call a gate in the gearbox. So that's in first gear at the moment. Straight down from first gear, we're going to go to second gear, which is straight down, like so. I'll do that again. So from first, and you hold the lever just a little bit to the left, and it goes straight down to second. And you see there's like a notch like that. You feel there, neutral. So if you keep it to the left and keep the force on it, not much, it's generally just 2 fingers is enough, it's in second gear. To third gear, it's a natural progression. It just goes up and it automatically moves into a gate ready for third gear, and in she goes into third. Then fourth is just like first to second, straight down. That's fourth. And then to go to fifth, we go up. Now we have to push it over to the right. So then we push it to the right and up for fifth gear. And then for sixth gear is exactly like 1 to 2, 3 to 4. Hold the gear stick to the right though and pull it all the way down to sixth gear. That's pretty much it. That's the gates on a gearbox on the Ford Mustang GT anyway. For one thing though, with the Mustang and a lot of newer cars, is to engage reverse, and you see reverse is far left hand side, so it's to the left of number 1 gear. It's right over there. So what this actually does, this has got a lockout mechanism, so while you're driving along in forward mode, you cannot physically get this gear lever into reverse. It will always go into first gear. Okay, the only way you can get to that gate for reverse is by this little tricky little lever here. See that lever? That pulls up with just your 2 fingers, just like so. It's a spring loaded and it just pulls up. So what you do is you pull up on the lever, push it all the way to the left. I'll do that again. So we pull up on the lever, push all the way to the left, and then reverse is engaged. And what happens is that little lever system underneath here stays up underneath the gear stick, so you know you're in reverse. And what happens is the reverse camera will turn on. So in the pedals here, got the throttle on the right hand side, got the brake, that's activated. Those 2 pedals are always activated by your right foot, and your clutch is dedicated to the left foot. Okay, well, I should say your left foot is dedicated to the clutch. So that's your clutch pedal, throttle, brake. All right, happy days. So what do? In a normal auto car, you put it in drive, you put your foot on the brake, put it in drive, release the handbrake and accelerate. Yeah, and you drive along and you modulate the throttle as to what sort of speed you're chasing or what speed you require for the particular road. Very similar in manual. The only other thing is that you've got the clutch to deal with, so you are regulating when the gear is engaged and when it is disengaged by the clutch. So we put our brake on, we put our clutch in, and I don't have the engine on at the moment. I'm just going to run through a dry run, so to speak, and we put the car into first gear. Release the handbrake. I'll just leave that on for the moment while I'm mucking around with the gear so it's not rolling anywhere. So first gear, and then we are going back down to the pedals, and you start applying a little bit of throttle, and you watch my left foot. I'll see if I can get some more light on this, like that. I'll open up the door, there we go. So you modulate with a little bit of throttle on with your right foot, which is designated pedal for your brake and your throttle, and what happens is the clutch has a sweet spot in it, and you feel that. So there's not much at the top and there's a lot of clutch down the bottom, so in between there, just about there, so I can get a bit of angle of it, just about there you feel this a little bit of springiness to the clutch, and that is your sweet spot. That is where the clutch starts taking up, getting friction to gain traction to move the vehicle forward in the designated gear that you've selected. Now, taking off from a standstill, generally speaking, always take off in first gear. This is where the practice comes in as to how, where the clutch actually engages for you to take off in the car in a nice way, not without roo hopping and all that sort of stuff, which you will do as you're learning this, but persevere. It is so worth it because it's so much fun driving manual. Okay, so clutch in, and you a little bit of throttle, and you release the clutch, and you take your foot off the pedal once it has engaged, and you're rolling away and driving, and you're modulating your throttle to drive away. So you add throttle to accelerate, naturally enough. All right, so what are we going to do? I'm going to change gears. Okay, so we've got the throttle on. In a normal auto car, you just leave your foot on the throttle and it changes gears all by itself. Snore. So what we do now is, when we're going to change gears, is we accelerate. We get ready to, when we're about to change gear into our second gear, so we accelerate, we take our foot off the throttle, we apply the clutch, and we pull down to second gear. then once again, just like takeoff, you feel that grab in the clutch, and you just modulate. You start grabbing a little bit of throttle, and then you apply more throttle and you start accelerating again. What do we do for third? It's exactly the same thing. Off with the gas, in with the clutch, then we grab third gear, and again release. As we release the clutch, we apply a little bit of throttle, and then we accelerate again. So now we're in third gear, and then we go again, we let off the throttle because we want to go to fourth gear, in with the clutch and down to fourth gear. And as we're releasing the clutch, you feel that little sweet spot, start applying a little bit of throttle in with there as well, and accelerate off again. That's up to fourth gear. Happy days. Now what do we do if we want to go down gears? Alright, if you need to come to a stop or slow down and the gears are too high, the engine's loading or something like that, let's come to a complete stop first. So we let off the throttle, clutch in, back up to third, clutch out as we're applying the brake, and then clutch back in again, back to second, clutch out, and then as we come to a stop, clutch back in again. As you're still applying brakes, if you come to a halt, keep the clutch in, first gear engaged, clutch in, brake on, and waiting for conditions for you ready to take off again. Excellent. Now just say you're traveling along the road and you're in, just say we're in fourth gear, okay, and you come to an incline and fourth gear is a little too high, which means that the engine's bogging, like it's getting really sluggish to drive up the hill in an easy way. The car's not feeling really happy going up a hill in too high of a gear. What do we do? Very, very easy. All we need to do is, we've got the throttle on in fourth gear, you can feel the car starting to bog, throttle off, clutch in, push back up to third gear, and once again, as you modulate the clutch coming back out again and you start applying throttle, clutch out, start applying throttle, and generally speaking that will get you up the hill nice and easy. So, and once again, if third gear is still too boggy, like you're going up a really steep incline, throttle off, clutch in, grab second gear, and then clutch out, and as the clutch is coming into its sweet spot and grab zone, apply the throttle, and you're zooming up the hill. Happy days. I'll set some cameras up now, and we'll go for a spin, and let's see if we can get some footage out of this. Alright, so got the camera set up, got my feet pedal cameras, thanks car, got feet pedal camera there, hopefully you can see the pedal, there's the throttle, brake and clutch with my swollen knee, and then on this camera here I've got the gear stick, handbrake and all the other fun stuff that we've got in the car. Alright, let's give this thing a start. So I've got the car in neutral, clutch in, foot on the brake, hit the start button. Just wind up the window. So I've got it in neutral, I can let the clutch out. Left foot on clutch, engage first gear, handbrake off, foot brake still on. Alright, so now I'm going to check my mirrors, just make sure I'm all good. It's all nice and quiet around here. So what we're going to do is just apply a little bit of throttle. You can hear the throttle revving there. Don't have to rev it too much, just a little bit like that. And you see my left foot start to move and feel the sweet spot on the clutch. So we give her a few revs and rev it out, and foot comes off the clutch and we're off and running. So first gear, second gear, and then I have to brake. So second gear, I'm going to grab the third gear now, throttle off, clutch in, modulate all the way to the floor, modulate, clutch out, apply a little bit of throttle, and away she goes again. So third gear, let's do that with fourth, throttle off, clutch in, change the gear, modulate the clutch out, and grab fourth gear. Watch out, Mr. Pro. Alright, now I'm coming up to a set of traffic lights that I need to stop at. So brake, clutch in, third, clutch out, second, clutch out, and back to first. So thankfully we got a green light. So, and transition, throttle and clutch again. Second gear. Third gear. And fourth gear. I hope you guys can hear the engine, like the revs of the engine and that. It's not, you know, because, you know, it sounds really cool or anything like that. Just so you can hear the modulation of the throttle, because you only need, okay, so sorry, come to a roundabout, third, clutch, second, clutch, and let's go. So go around the roundabout and accelerate out. Grab a second. Say this was a hill, so I'll slow right down on this in third gear, and it's not accelerating, it's boggy. You can hear it's boggy. Well, not really, it's pretty perky still. I'll go down a little bit slower. So like that, what we do is we go clutch in, down to second gear, release the clutch, apply the throttle, hear the revs automatically pick up. Going up the hill. That's pretty much it, really. I really don't know how to explain anything else with regards to changing gears. And I'll just stop the engine. Okay, so there we go. That's, in a nutshell, how to drive a manual car. I'm sure I haven't covered all the things that, you know, a driving instructor would definitely teach you. But it's a guide. At the end of the day, I'm no driving instructor. This is how I've learnt driving manual cars. So yeah, it's really straightforward. Just practice, be patient with yourself and be patient with the car as well. No need to rip into the gears and, you know, rev the guts out of it and drop the clutch and all that sort of stuff. So it certainly saves on maintenance and repair bills on your car, that's for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Get out there, get your manual driver's license. You'll find you really enjoy it. Don't be afraid of it. That is the biggest thing. Don't be afraid of manual transmission. They are not scary. And be confident in yourself as well that you can do it. And you'll find that once you get the swing of it, you go, yeah, now I know what everybody's on about driving manual cars. It's something different. It's a lot of fun, and it's very, very engaging with the car, which I really enjoyed. So as you can see on the smile on my face. Anyways, I'll call that video a wrap. If you found it interesting or useful and all that sort of stuff, and you enjoyed the video, can you give it a thumbs up for me? That'd be greatly appreciated. And also hit the subscribe button and the notification button as well, just below the video there. Subscriptions, I am chasing subscriptions. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers by Christmas time, so I've got basically 7 weeks to try and get 50 subscribers. That's my goal. So hopefully that you guys found it interesting. Yeah, and we'll call it that. All right, you guys have a fantastic day. Take care. See you later.